costs are, if this increased cost in power is offset by a geometric increase in output, because they are channeling the money that they've used for alternative power into, you know, public power, and also they will have enough more to invest more in their output. So if the increase in the cost in the power sector is matched with an increase in the output, then these consumers don't have to feel the rot of.
You know how things work in this climb. As soon as the bread makers, semolina, palm oil, rice, whatever, as soon as they hear that,
they increase their prices.
The discos have raised electricity bill.
Yes.
You're sure the prices that we always discuss has been sticky, will move, and we know where it's going. Yes,
but in the long run, the market will adjust itself, and then prices will start to reflect what is actually going on.
Yes, that's the economy in theory. We all know that in this climb, whatever goes up defies the law of gravity in a number of, sometimes you just want to come down, but just hang somewhere there in the firmament. So that takes us to where we are in terms of this, and we're going to put that on the screen very quickly in terms of the current market prices. So if there is this increase, as the Babatunde Raji Fashola, the Power, Housing and Works Minister, is talking about, if this increase comes, and if that was the last one that has been said, whether going to be 40 or 45%, depending on whether it's going to be business or domestic.
Yes,
depending. Which one do you think is of these items do you think was going to get hit first? Bread, yes. Tomato, beans, sugar.
Like you said initially, once they get a whiff that cost of power has increased,
yes,
you anticipate that these producers and manufacturers will impose this cost, even for some manufacturers who don't really feel the intensity of the cost would increase, just to make them
to join the group.
Yes, competitive. So you can't really say, oh, rice will go first, or beans will go first, or bread will go first, or gala will go first.
So I'm going with that. It's got to be alcoholic or non-alcoholic beverages, a loaf of bread, semovita, or Indomie for kids, and sometimes for adults.
Because power transcends all sectors, it transcends all markets.
Power is everything.
Exactly. So the consumers should expect increase in their cost, but then in the long run, there should be respite.
When we begin to claw back, isn't it?
Yes, and when the market begins to...
So the entire electricity conversation will depend on... This has to be what you call an article of faith, isn't it?
Yes.
Article of faith.
Yes.
Because if I'm going to pay more for tariffs to the discos,
yes,
and of course all the way down to the Gencos as well, we'll have to have the faith that they will deliver.
Yes, and not direct the increased funds into settling their
previous debts.
Backlog of debt.
Maybe we should have a bit of a contractual agreement here that, look, with the bankers themselves, don't use this increase in tariff to pay your legacy debts or acquisition, privatization, divert it into let's have meters, isn't it?
Yes, but would the banks be receptive towards this?
Would the banks be? But that's going to be a very nasty one. Okay, so what's the outlook as the tariff increases? I'm looking at how this will all come out at the end of the day. If we do the increase in third quarter, if we raise tariffs in Q3, do you think by Q4 we should be able to see some effect? Is it the negative side or the positive side?
Initially, there will be a negative effect with a surge in prices, but like we said, as the market starts to come down and correct itself, then prices should taper slightly. Yes.
As far as inflation is concerned, the outlook for the fourth quarter, we might just do away with third quarter for now, because once it comes in, there's a lag about 3 months or thereabouts. So we're saying, well, we're technically in the last quarter of 2017, and that's the time when folks would want to spend more. Yes, and companies will want to produce more because of the seasonality in consumerism, consumer are buying. That's not a good time to have a electricity tariff.
Yes, exactly, like you said. So
you think if Fashola is going to do it, you should do it today? Or the earlier the better?
It has, yes, the earlier the better, because it has been a long time coming. So
I'm not advocating for tariff increase. I know one should just read this as an article. I said boasting says on television it should be increased. I'm just saying if it has to be done.
It has to, if it has to be done, it has to be done.
It has to be done as quickly as yesterday.
We need to encourage and incentivize these companies to improve the quality of power.
There's got to be a lot of article of faith there for these companies. Thank you so much for coming through today. Amaka Ajaibo, who is one of the very big team there at Financial Derivatives, bringing us those insightful analysis and the facts behind the figures in Nigeria's commodities markets. Just before we go, take a look at the oil and gas. A big 7 on the market yesterday. This is a bit of mixed story. Owando made a comeback yesterday, but of a pushback after about since Monday when this stock was hit into the red. 7:15 when the market finished off yesterday, about 5% to the north, 4.583 million ordinary shares. In volume terms, it was a grey shoot. Forte oil was on change at 57.96, should be in grey, alongside Cornell at 29.98. MRS, after sitting on change for a long time, a couple of weeks, was now almost the same, about the same margin yesterday on the in the red, 35.44. Seplat gained 2.10%, one of the big birds yesterday on a very small turnover. Look at that, 30,987 units of shares. Of course, that's the only E&P company on our market, 485. The news all around the oil sector. Yesterday, oil prices started rebounding after the International Energy Agency says the U.S. crude inventories is not as high as especially previously thought. So the IEA report calmed things down a little bit. And then Total shaved about 0.2%, 259.50. I'm taking a break. At this point, I'll be back with the earnings discussions. Earnings season is just getting started. Get the ringside seat and then get some outlook into what to expect next.